Hello again, everybody. So a while ago I did the Mistborn prologue thing, but here is the other thing that I'm going to spend my summer doing. Once again, same friend Evan. I just finished Card Captor Sakura. Great anime, by the way. Anyone you should totally watch it. Not the English dubbed Card Captors, but watch the actual Japanese version. Uh, I just finished the series, so I'm kind of in like that limbo of needing another good series to watch. And I'm all like, I have the entire Gargoyles series downloaded on my computer. Maybe I should watch that. And my friend Evan's like, yes, you should totally watch that in addition to the whole Mistborn thing. So, similar to how the Nostalgia Critic is doing his whole vlog thing on Avatar The Last Airbender, which he's seeing for the first time, I guess, in preparation so that he can review The Last Airbender, the shitty M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out a while ago. I'm going to be vlogging on the Gargoyles animated series just for the hell of it, because I need to get back into video making again, so I can start doing my reviews again. So this is Gargoyles episode 1, Awakening Part 1. There are 5 parts. And a little bit of background on being Gargoyles. I did watch Gargoyles way back when it was on Toon Disney. When I was how old was I? Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like between like 5 and 10 years old. Uh, maybe like 11, 12. But I did watch it at the time. It scared the shit out of me a lot of the time. Yeah, I'm a very easy to scare person. So the series itself, uh, as dark as it was, being watched by very easy to scare child like me, it was pretty frightening in a lot of the episodes. Well, not a lot of the episodes, but some of them. So watching it, like I enjoyed watching it, but it did scare me. Watching it now, I'm just kind of like, oh yay, cool, kind of mature cartoon that I watched as a child. It doesn't scare the shit out of me anymore. Uh, but so I do have some history with the show. I've never actually finished the show before. So that's another part of this whole vlog thing is that I hope to, in doing this, finish the entire series. I've gotten through, like, I think the majority of the first season through YouTube, and I think I started a bit of the second season on YouTube as well, but I'm weird with marathoning shows, where I'll start marathoning them and I'll get to, like, a certain point, and then I'll just kind of, like, lose focus and go on to something else. That's ADHD for me. Uh, which I actually do have. But for now, we'll just be looking at it on an episode by episode basis. So episode 1, Awakening, it's a really good opening episode for a cartoon, in my opinion. It really kind of establishes like the tone that the series is going for, which is slightly more mature than what was airing on Toon Disney at the time. You had shit like Bonkers, Quack Pack, DuckTales, the Little Mermaid animated series, Aladdin the animated series, Hercules the animated series, Timon and Pumbaa, the shitty Lion King spin-off thing. Uh, Fuck, what else was there? On Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, all the Disney afternoon shit. And so this show is pretty much a cut above the rest of those. And it's pretty much you're watching it and it has a more it's like, what's the best equivalent? It's like the Batman the animated series of Toon Disney. I guess it's kind of like the best comparison I can make. It's a decent comparison, but not the best comparison I can make. But it's the best I can make at this point in time, since I don't really have any other cartoons to reference from that time period. Since I really didn't watch too many shows that weren't airing on a Disney network, this is really the best I can do. But similar to how Batman the Animated Series was and is a more mature and dark cartoon for by cartoon standards. Gargoyles is very similar in tone and I guess overall kind of characterization to that. So the basic premise of it is, as it stands in this first episode, is that there are, like everyone knows what the gargoyles. There's little those like stone monster things that have like carved up on like in out of rock basically, and that people put on like tops of like churches and castles and shit like that. Basically the fact that they're made to like scare the shit out of people and like deter them from invading or whatever and keep them away. But in this series, they're actually alive. And this is for basically those of you who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, so these gargoyles, well, during the day they're obviously made of stone, but then when the sun sets, and Disney has this weird thing with sunsets a lot of the times in their movies, but that's just side now. When the sun sets, they turn to flesh and blood, and they wake up and everything, and they're like, "Ah, gonna," because the series starts off on an invasion. Uh, on a at a castle in Scotland in 994, which gives us a perfect segue into like our the time period the series takes place in, actually, which is 1,000 years after that. So it's just kind of like a perfect like just add a one before that 994. That will forgive me. Anyways, so the gargoyles they're like fending off this invasion from, I guess, these like Vikings. I'm not quite sure what the fuck to call them. I'm calling them Vikings. I don't have a I don't have anything better to call them, but I'm calling them Vikings. It's it's Scottish. I think it fits. Forgive me. I don't know my other mythology shit like that. So yeah, I'm calling them Vikings. These Viking guys, they're attacking the castle and the gargoyle. And they're attacking it at nightfall, and two of them actually like make comment on it. They're like, "Wow, already it's like crazy to be attacking this castle right before nightfall when these gargoyles are about to wake up." And the captain's all like, "No, no, it's what's crazy is you questioning my sanity while I'm in earshot." And so then actually they just go about their invasion, and then the sun sets. Well, the leader is like climbing up the castle, whatever, and he's about to he's like hanging on the edge of the castle, and there's this huge gargoyle like right on this pedestal in front of him, and it wakes up, and it's the main character Goliath. I'm not sure. I'm gonna use her name. Yeah, Goliath is like right there, and his voice like the awesome Keith David, so he has like this awesome, super awesome voice. Uh, and the gargoyles like fend off the invasion and everything, and then at the end of the episode, it's revealed that the captain of the guard of the castle the gargoyles protect is, surprise, surprise, a traitor, and he betrays them, and all most of the gargoyles end up getting destroyed by the Vikings who come back because the captain of the guards for the current castle is a douchebag and betrays, sells them all out. Uh, anyways, getting to like the actual like my thoughts on the episode. It's really good. Not just saying that to copy what the Solid Critic is really proud of the last Airbender, but similar to how mostly all of the episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender are good episodes. Mostly all the episodes of Gargoyles are good episodes. Uh, One of my favorite things about this first episode is the way it kind of introduces its characters. Like you have Goliath, who's the obvious leader. Uh, you have the three comic relief gargoyles: Lexington, Brooklyn, and Broadway, and and then there's Hudson, the older gargoyle, who's kind of second in command to Goliath, but kind of not. Like I guess to be, I wouldn't want to call him a mentor to Goliath because I really don't think that he is, but he's somewhere along the equivalent scale. He's like an old friend slash mentor for the most part. And then you have Demona. Demona has like the best like introduction in this series ever. Like you see the Viking captain, like he gets cornered by the gargoyle dog Bronx or whatever, and so he runs the other way into like this dark like little corridor of the castle, and Demona's standing right there, and like she unfolds her wings and her eyes are like glowing like blood red, and she opens her mouth and it's like a fucking vampire's there, getting ready to kill this dude. And I loved it. I'm like, this is the best opening. This is like the best character introduction to the show ever. And the episode very firmly establishes like what the gargoyles' personalities are. And I like that too. There's not a whole lot that I don't like. Oh, okay. There was one thing I didn't really care for, and that's like, since it's Disney, we have to have a princess character. It kind of goes hand in hand. And since the Gargoyles guard this castle, you have this Scottish princess. I forget what the fuck her name is. And after they fend off the invasion, the captain of the guard comes in for dinner, whatever, and everyone's talking about the gargoyles, and she's like, "Do not mention those beasts in my presence." I can't do a Scottish accent. Quick question: why don't the gargoyles have Scottish accents? They're in Scotland. They're pretty much said to be native to Scotland at this point. So why don't they have Scottish accents? Anyway, totally missing the point. But so Goliath and Demona then walk into the dining hall or whatever. It's like this big scene or whatever, and it's like, what are these monsters doing in the place where we eat? This steaming dining hall. Your dining hall is like shit. Like that was the worst dining hall ever. It's like the Great Hall from Harry Potter, only just like two tables and like dirt floor and well, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I guess it's just like the thought of having like monsters here, and then like we have like the princess's assistant is like the Magus who's a wizard in the series, and he's all like, these creatures are unnatural. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's like the pot calling the kettle black. You're a wizard. You do magic. Magic is not natural. It's unnatural. And the same thing that these gargoyles are unnatural. So what the fuck are you trying to get at here? Who is more unnatural? Just because they look like, okay, I guess they're technically more unnatural because they look like monsters and he looks like some white-haired Bishonen character or whatever. Bishonen, even though it's Western animation, oh well. Anyways, it was a very good opening episode. There are a lot of shot. There are like 3 or 4 shots in this episode. They're kind of like foreshadowing shots or whatever. Like in the scene where Goliath and Demona are talking after they kind of get like sent out of the dining hall or whatever, or it's like when they're later up on the roof or whatever. It's one of those two. They're like talking to each other, and the camera pans in on the captain of the guards, and he kind of looks away, it's kind of like he has this expression on his face, and kind of like gives you the impression that like we just had this great victory, but something's up. Uh, and so it kind of foreshadows him. There's like another shot later on of him, like they're like, and then okay, like I said, at album I get mixed up sometimes. Uh, Another shot is when Goliath and Demona are again talking to each other, and he's like, "You need to you should take your gargoyles or whatever, and get away from the castle for a little while. Yeah, just you know, for like a day or so, just because the Vikings said they were going to come back, whatever, and like destroy everyone. So because we were defenseless during the day without you guys, you should take your gargoyles and get the hell out of Dodge." And Goliath saw like, "No, this is our," and Demona agreed with him, but Goliath's like, "No, this is our home," or some bullshit reason like that, where he's saying like, "This is our home, we're not going to leave it," for the most part. Uh, and so him and Hudson end up getting lured away from the castle. Uh, and again, like something's up, and that's the point where you realize that something most definitely is up. There's like the Vikings are coming back because they already showed like some guy in like a white robe leaving the castle and like going to the Viking camp, whatever, and like informing them, hey, something's up here. You are like you want to get into the castle, like I can tell you how. Uh, then there's this weird shot, and I don't know what the purpose for it is, but I think it's foreshadowing something later on. I think it's foreshadowing what happens later in the next episode, and it's the Magus, and he's like in his little like chamber or whatever, and he's flipping through his spell book, and it just kind of like fades out of that, and I'm all like, what the fuck is this shot for? Like, why was this necessary or important? And then obviously the last kind of important foreshadowing shot of the episode is you see the captain of the guards, like he's like I guess like the armor or whatever, and he's holding one of the bows in his hand, and it's kind of like really foreshadowing that, like, he's gonna do something to the bows. And then sure enough, when the archers get ready to draw back their bows, the string snap. So I think that's about it. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about this episode. Uh, Good episode, really good episode. It's very good tone establishing episode. Uh, and I think it's a good thing that it's part of like that's like a 5-part episode. I remember when I first watched Gargoyles, when I was a kid, when you could like get everything on video except for Blockbuster, I rented the movie, which is basically the first 5 episodes put together on one cassette tape, and I watched it, and I was very entertained by it, because it's one of those series that like you need all 5 parts of the first of the Awakening episode shit to get into the rest of the series, because that's what like really hooks you. Like, the first episode is good on its own, and it's kind of one of those things where like even if you're not really all that into it, you're kind of like I kind of want to see the next part, the next part, the next part, the next part, just so I can get this whole Awakening bullshit out of my way, so I can get through the rest of the series. Uh, but other than that, that's really all I wanted to say about this episode. Good first episode, good tone establishing episode, and I will see y'all tomorrow because this is going to be a day by day thing. So look forward to that.